if you are a ravenous Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0 fanboy, probably going to want to skip the next 10 to 15 minutes of this video. I've taken the time to write a script. I'm reading off my script off camera over here, so if you do see me looking away, I'm not making eye contact with you. I'm trying to get better as a YouTuber. I apologize. Enough about that. Let's get into it. Meet the Bodyguard 2.0. As you can see, weapon is clear. So what you can't see, you're going to notice a little theme here. 4 magazines, all sent via warranty. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, let me back that up. I got a replacement 10-round magazine because my 10-round magazine broke. I got a replacement 13-round magazine because my 13-round magazine broke. And then there's this little guy right here. This is a recoil spring assembly. Let me show you what's wrong with this pistol. Just before we even go down the positives, we're gonna get the negatives out. Like I said, if you are a ravenous Smith & Wesson fanboy, you might wanna click away. Because Smith & Wesson is an awesome gun company, but they produce some turds too. If you have one of these, and you have a problem reassembling the guide rod spring, it is not your fault. These things are out of spec. So this is the replacement that they sent me, that they guaranteed would be the solution. Fun fact, it's not. Here's the original. There's only 300 rounds that have been fired through this particular recoil spring. I want you to see how beat up it is, and I want you to look right here at the end. You see that end right there? This outer recoil spring is too large of a diameter for this assembly. Also, fun fact, this is a 4-piece guide rod. So right here, you've got your rod, you have your assist spring down here, then you have this big spring, which rides on a bushing, which goes around a rod. So you got 1, 2, yep, 2 is the spring, 3 is the bushing, and then 4 is the other spring. You got 4 pieces that are in play. The first time I took this to the range, I could not get the gun to run more than about 5 rounds at a time without all kinds of failure to feed, failure to eject, just unbelievable failure rate. Well, I took it home. I come to find out that the larger diameter bushing that rides on this recoil spring was actually seized to the rod. So to get around that, I removed the recoil spring, which is very easy to do, by the way. I'm not going to do it because I'm going to launch this thing across the room and I really don't feel like trying to find it on carpet. But with just a pick, you can remove this spring. Actually, you know what? I am going to do it. See what you made me do, YouTube? And then you'll be able to see for yourself. Now, for the YouTube censors, this is not disassembly the firearm at all. In fact, this part's already out of the gun. So here's your recoil spring. Okay. Now you can get a better look at that bushing. You take the recoil spring off, you basically shove it down, and then I stuffed a pair of pliers, not clamping, but just a set of needle nose so that I could force it open. And then I started dripping oil down it until this thing would freely slide again. It was, when I say bone dry, I'm talking bone dry. There was corrosion in there. So that's how I got it out, and that's how I dealt with that. So if you have a Bodyguard 2.0 and your Bodyguard 2.0 is not a runner, now you know why. Second, inside the magazine are little legs that stick down. And so what would happen is I would get 3 rounds loaded and the round, or the leg on the magazine would kick out of that engagement hole right there. That's the hole that your magazine locks into, okay? So the leg would kick out of that and you could not I grabbed my Lula. I was putting my full body weight. I'm 260 pounds, guys. I'm a fat bastard. I was putting my full body weight on that loader, and I could not get more than 3 rounds in this gun. So if you go onto the Smith & Wesson forums and you read about these superhero guys that have, like, they just broke off the legs with their Lula loader because they're gangster, they're lying to you. You disassemble the magazine, you remove the follower, and you cut the legs off the follower. That's how you fix that without going through customer service. Now, pay attention to the end here. See how it's got all of that wear? Yeah, I'm going to show you why. See, if you look, I'm just going to loop a couple coils of this spring, uncompressed, over the recoil guide rod assembly here, so you can see what I'm talking about. That should be a much tighter diameter. It's very loose on here, okay? And if you do find yourself in this situation, I'm going to show you how to get it back together. You just compress it, compress it, compress it, and it'll pop up and over the end, which is another very clear sign that this is an improperly manufactured and designed part. The next thing you're going to want to do, see the end, how it's sticking up right here? Right there. I'm going to get my eyeball out of the camera so it'll focus on that a little. There we go. So, that little guy, you're just going to take a flat tip, or in this case, I'm taking a Glock disassembly tool, and you're just going to tuck it in and under the end of the guide rod. Okay? Now you can reassemble your firearm, and perhaps it will work for you. This is the factory replacement guide rod. As you can see, I have not had to remove the spring, and what I do still have to do, every time I reassemble the gun, you have to pop the end of the recoil spring just like that. I hope you guys heard that click, but you have to pop the end of the recoil spring under the end of the guide rod, or you're going to have a hell of a time reassembling the pistol. This, you know, you guys saw my review. I did the M&P 2.0 carry comp, hell of a nice gun. The Shield Plus carry comp, hell of a nice gun. I was expecting something that was going to be in the same league as those guns, and this absolutely isn't. So now we've got my disappointments out of the way. We've got that all out of the way first. Let me show you. So, you see, even as I'm trying to lock this in, this spring is like a solid rod right now because it is seized up. This only has 200 rounds on it, guys. So now I've got to compress it again. There it goes. So now I've got it compressed. The end is popped under the guide rod the way that it has to be to go back in. And there you go. It's reassembled. Once again, YouTube, this is not a modification in any way, shape, or form. This is normal maintenance. This is how you take the gun down and you clean it. That's all. Reassemble the gun, function check, and away you go. So now we're going to talk about some of the positive attributes of this firearm. It's small. That is a mechanic size 2XL, and 2XL is very tight on my hands. That shows you just how small this gun is, okay? The recoil, it's a 380, so it's not particularly super snappy. It is a great shooter when it works. Trigger, flat face trigger. It does have the trigger safety. And this is one of the models with the thumb safety. I'm going to go ahead and preface everything and tell you guys that if you buy the non-thumb safety equipped version of this pistol, don't do it. You want the thumb safety. Number one, the thumb safety version seems to be selling consistently for $35 less everywhere that I went in northern Alabama while I was hunting this pistol. Number two, with a gun this small, you're going to want to stick it in a pocket. And you can very easily do that. However, you should carry with a pocket holster. You should never, ever, ever carry this gun in your pocket without a pocket holster. I'm just throwing that out there. This is common sense. This safety, there's some YouTubers that have said, oh, it's terrible. It's a very positive safety. It is, let me see if you can see that. You see that texturing that's on there? The texturing is all over this pistol. And it feels awesome in your hand. And when you get on it and you're shooting this gun, okay, it's solid. It doesn't move in your hand. Even if your hand gets a little sweaty, it doesn't move in your hand. It stays on target as well as can be. For those of you who are considering this to be your first concealed carry pistol, or your first pistol in general, 380 is the FBI minimum for self-defense. There are numerous, and I do mean numerous places that you can go and look all of this information up. I'm not going to tell you what you should carry with this gun, okay? I've done my research, you do your research, and you do your risk assessment accordingly. So I have run Blazer 380 through here. I've run aluminum case 380 through here. Once I figured out the mystery of the recoil guide rod, it ran a lot better. There is a company, and I'll put a link down in the description in this video, that makes a solid stainless steel guide rod assembly for this pistol. I have not tested that. If you would like me to test that and see if all of the problems go away, reach out to me, leave me a comment down below. I'll buy it and I'll test it. I have currently about 800 rounds through this gun. I don't know that I'm going to make it to 1,000. I really don't. And it's a lot of it is just me, it's psychological. I expected this thing to be as good as the Shield, or I expected it to be as good as that M&P 2.0, and it absolutely fucking isn't. It isn't. I was so let down by this gun. Now, there's a break-in period with all firearms. I don't care what internet Yahoo you go to that tells you, oh, I never had a break-in period. Guys, there's a break-in period with every mechanical firearm. There's a break-in period with every gun, okay? I don't care if it's something like the Ross Martin R1MC, or it's something like the Ruger RXM, or it's a Glock, okay? There is a break-in period. It is a mechanical device. The surfaces need to wear, and as they wear, they polish each other up. Do not have to pull the trigger to disassemble this gun for cleaning. You can just stick your finger in, push the ejector assembly straight down, and pull it straight off without pulling the trigger, okay? Take a look at the wear inside the slide. You see the little shiny parts? And take a look at the frame here, and you'll see the little shiny parts. That's what I'm talking about, okay? All firearms have to do it. My Shadows have had to do it. My Glocks have had to do it. My 1911s have had to do it. You can accelerate the process by polishing it yourself if that's what you want to do. Moving on. I'm not sure if you can remove the mag catch or not on this. I believe that you can. Actually, yeah, you can. So you can swap this over. So if God hates you and you're left-handed, you can swap the magazine release over. However, you only have one slide release, and that's on this side. However, the thumb safety is in fact ambidextrous. This is a very easy pistol to fire left-handed or right-handed. Even if you limp wrist it, it does work when there's not an issue with the guide rod. I've beat that into the ground. The sights, go ahead and show you. Hopefully those will pick up. You can see the rear, it's a wide U-notch. And you have a nice orange dot with a tritium front sight. That leads me into one of the other problems I had with this pistol. I feel that the U-notch is a little bit too wide for precision shooting. Again, if you're considering this gun for your first concealed carry firearm, do I think it's a bad choice? No, I don't. But you're gonna have to go through customer service until you get a reliable one. That's just all there is to it. I've been told that the newer produced ones, the ones that have been produced since about December, have had all of these issues corrected. That's what I was told by customer service when I sent them an email. Do with that what you will. Like I said, I got a very early, like right when this thing was on the market, bam, I got it. Okay. I want to like this gun. I really want to like this gun more than I do. But I have too many other concealed carry firearms already, and I have too many other like micro pistols in my collection to warrant keeping on to this particular firearm. My wife has shot it. She really likes it, so this will probably be going to her for her collection. But me in particular, it's, you know, as big as my hands are, I don't get any slide bite. The recoil is very gentle. Of course, it's a 380, but even with the hotter 380 rounds, this is a very easy to shoot gun. If you can hit what you're aiming at past 7 yards, you are a better human being than I am. Okay, I tried taking some precise shots out at 15, and I tried taking some precise shots out at 20, and it looked like daddy's shotgun. Okay, however, this gun and this caliber combination is a hey, get off me gun. It's not a I'm going to engage you at the other end of the parking lot gun. This is 12 rounds as fast as you can pull the trigger, relatively on target. And by on target, I mean, if you're aiming center mass and you're rapid firing this gun, you're going to put 12 rounds in the center of a human being. This will do what it needs to do so that you can get out of a bad situation and get back home to your family. Okay? If you're buying this for a range gun, unless you have a weird particular kink and you like small pocket guns, and hey, we do not kink shame at ETA Wheels. I like small guns too. I just don't care for this. Ah, yeah. See that? So if you do use the frame mounted lever, yeah, there we go. If you do the disassembly where you push down on the ejector, once you insert a magazine in the gun, there we go. See? We just learned something live on ETA Wheels. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the Bodyguard 2.0. Who is this gun for? If maximum portability, concealability, with a trade-off in effectiveness is something that you are willing to accept in a firearm, then the Bodyguard 2.0 is probably going to be a very good choice for you. I do not recommend this for anybody's first gun. I would make this my third or fourth gun in the collection. I always recommend a compact or slimline firearm over a micro compact anything. This has a very tiny barrel, which is why I carry it with truncated ball ammo, because there's a real chance you're not going to get hollow point expansion. So if you're wasting your money on hollow points, maybe they'll work for you, maybe they won't. I'm just telling you what I felt, what I saw, what I observed over my 800 rounds through this gun. I really want to like it. It's very comfortable. It's exceedingly comfortable. Even with my big hands, it's very comfortable. Though I can tell you, if you've got a thumbs forward grip, you're gonna adjust your grip real quick. Because if you're not used to shooting this, I mean, take a look at that. My thumb is sticking out past the end of the muzzle. So yeah, that fireball that comes out of the end of this thing will absolutely do a number on your thumb. Blessedly, when I was firing it that day, it was a little cold at the range and I had a glove on. Don't be like me. So put your thumb on the forward memory pad. This is not a gas pedal, it's a memory pad. so that as you grip the gun and then you move into the firing position, you're getting that body mechanics down, because this does require a little bit of a different manual of arms from any other small pistol you've ever dealt with. So, would I recommend this pistol? I would recommend the newer versions of it, which if you're seeing this video, it's currently March 2025. So if you're going to the stores and you're buying one, check the serial number, check the production date, make sure it's produced after December. If not, I already showed you what to look for at the very beginning of the video. Inspect that gun before you buy it, before you pay your hard-earned money, and before you leave the shop with it, or you will end up going through Smith & Wesson customer service. Now, to their credit, Smith & Wesson customer service, bang on, fantastic, really good. Every time that I reached out to them, they were fairly proactive. I had to go through 3 or 4 different people before they finally listened to what I had to say. I will show you right quick. This is the 12 round magazine. You see how much bigger the grip is with the 12 round. If you want the maximum small footprint, the 10 round flush fit is probably going to be the way to go. And as you can see, you can tuck your pinky all the way up under there. I typically shoot this gun one-handed and not two-handed, simply just due to the physical size of it. All right, so I'm Byron. This is our March Madness review day, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. It's a very good pistol. I hope you get a good one. I obviously didn't, as you could tell. I'm not saying that it's a bad gun. I'm not bagging on Smith & Wesson for trying to come out with a new or innovative design, far from it. But I think they could have done their homework a little bit better when they designed it. Just my 10 cents. Overall, if I had to give this, let's say, I would give it a 3.5 out of 5. Okay? And I'm not saying it's bad. There are thousands of people who got good ones from Smith & Wesson, and they rave about this gun. They're obsessed with this gun. As a matter of fact, my comments about this gun got me permanently fucking banned from Reddit, losing 8 years of a really good rapport that I had with my audience, because fuck Reddit. Sorry, I'm still a little butthurt. But I posted the truth about this in the Smith & Wesson forums, and they fucking permanently banned me. Do with that what you will. Moving on.